I'm sure you've seen them online. Companies do meet and greets all the time, and it's been a focus for us over last year and now 2020 especially. Atlas meet and greets throughout the country, not just in Las Vegas or coming up here in Nashville in April. We want to get out more all through the country and see all of our travelers while they're out on a contract. We think that's one of the best ways to connect once you take that contract and you start that job. So I have two veteran recruiters who have been on, you like that? Veterans.
That's new. I don't know if I've ever been called that
Veteran,
before.
who have been on a lot of meet and greets before, here to talk about what you should expect if a meet and greet is coming to your town where you're on a contract. Atlas All Access starts now. Jake Brower and Maggie Hammer are both here. So you have both been on a lot of meet and greets over, your recruiting careers, correct? Quite a few.
Yeah, Maggie's kind of like the rock star of meet and greets.
I love to get out there.
That is true. Well, so talk about that. I'll get into my questions a little bit, though. Why? Why do you like to get out and do that?
One, gosh, it's a vacation. And what better way, than to go on vacation with, these people that you work with day in and day out. Mm-hmm. They're people too, so it's a blast to go out and see them in that different atmosphere, different environment, on a different level, So I just think it's super, super important to get out there and meet your nurses, outside of work, and just to get to appreciate them too,
mm-hmm. There's conversations that you can have sitting at dinner or in a car driving to the snowboarding event or whatever it is that you're not going to have on the phone during the day, right? That's a completely different atmosphere, right?
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the best thing about them to me is it creates a context for a relationship that's already, fairly close. Like, we talk to these people daily, and we get used to having a phone relationship, a text relationship, but there's something really different about connecting face to face with somebody you feel like is already on the verge of family / close friend. It's just weird. And so, every time I meet a new traveler on a meet and greet for the first time, I'm always like, I feel like I really know this person well, but you realize I've never actually met them in person. So it creates this really kind of fun, exciting dynamic that we're lucky to have.
And that answers my first question, honestly, but let's dig into it just a little bit deeper. Why do we do these? Why do we spend that money to get out there and do these meet and greets? So you've got one coming up here when spring training starts.
Mm-hmm. First week in March,
right. So why? Besides just that, making that connection, that it's fun to travel. I love to travel too, right? And I think that's one of the things I live vicariously through every single traveler out there that posts pictures online or talks about the fun stuff that they're doing while they're out there. So in addition to all of that, why would you get out there and do that? Or why would we pay to have that done?
I think there's two reasons, really. One, probably my favorite one, is just to make nurses feel valued and appreciated. Mm-hmm. We have a block of time where we just get to kind of spoil them and tell them they're important and build that relationship.
Sure.
But it's also, I think, selfishly, it's really good for Atlas as well. We get to have an inside look at what goes on in the cities that our travelers are traveling to, and get insight into how they're actually feeling, what they're actually experiencing, so that for the next run of travelers, they have a little bit more info.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's weird on the day-to-day here. It's not just 8 to 5. These phones don't shut off, but sometimes it's really hard to separate yourself from the business and work side of things, and to kind of just let loose and just be yourself, So at night when the phone rings, it's business talk. Either something's going on, something needs to be handled. And when you get out there, it's somehow, some way, even on my own personal vacations, it's hard to shut this phone off. But when you're around those nurses, everything kind of goes to the side. It's just your main focus then and there. So yeah, it's it's weird, the experience, but it's so great. And it's very fulfilling because you work so hard, and then you get to actually go out there, and spend the time and spend money and I mean, just hang out with them. So I think it's super important.
Okay, so next question then.
Okay.
While we're out there, like, what do we do? Like, when you're looking to plan a meet and greet in, let's say Denver or, spring training or whatever, like, what are we looking to do? How do we come up with those ideas?
I think mainly, like, I like to have a variety. So it's like, okay, a sporting event, awesome. It'll bring everybody out. It's 4 hours long, so if you can make it great. Then you have a bar scene. I mean, you do a happy hour. You have drinks, cocktails, food, and then, like an outdoorsy event if you can. I mean, Phoenix, you can pretty much hit all of that, so a hike or a brunch or something. So I think it's good to kind of have, like I said, I mean, just a different variety of different events, and you check out what's in the area. I grew up in Arizona, so, it's easy for me to go out there and I could pick 10, 15 different things, and it'd be tough to narrow it down. But it's really kind of what are the attractions out there, explore the area. And, I mean, have you been to a meet and greet, to an area where you haven't ever visited before?
Yeah. My first one in Reno, I had never been to Reno before, so that was really fun. Like, we were exploring with them. I think my goal for all of the meet and greets is to kind of, it's a meet and greet is sort of like a microwave for building relationships. So the goal is to create space for actual connections. So, I mean, we're not going to take nurses to a movie where the lights are off and we're staring at a screen.
Sure.
We're going to go somewhere like Topgolf, or we're going to go on a long hike, probably that people will complain about because it was too long. Actually happened in Reno. But it creates like these experiences that even when I love doing hikes because when it's hard, even a little bit hard, you have an experience with somebody that actually creates like this sense of, it's a memory. Like I have pictures of me and the travelers that went on this hike, like at the end of it, and everybody's exhausted, but everybody's kind of smiling, like we go to dinner together and we talk about everything that we just experienced. And it's a microwave for building those relationships. And that's kind of, I think, my goal is to create space for that to actually happen.
I think when I've looked at these before, and I've planned my share of them along the way. I start selfishly with myself. Like, okay, if we're going, I'll use Las Vegas for example, because we go there every year. Like, what do I want to do? Sure. And then you start involving people from there, because if I want to do it, then I know there's a number of other people out there that want to do it. Or what sounds like this one that we just did in San Francisco with Alcatraz. Like, that'd be super cool to go see Alcatraz, right? If you're on a contract there, is it something you're going to do?
Yeah, for sure.
But if you get a group of people together, you're totally going to go do that.
Well, and two things are true about travel nurses. They're up for an adventure.
Yep.
But they want to have an adventure with other people. Like, they're always looking for that. So being able to create that space for them and potentially cover some of the costs so that they can do it kind of worry-free, and like, that's just super fun.
All right, so final question then. How can one get involved? So let's start with one, you're not an Atlas traveler whatsoever, okay? And you see it online. How can you get involved?
Gosh, I mean, there are quite a few, non-Atlas travelers that do show up to these events. Now, again, it's either, from being online or word of mouth. I mean, Mayo Clinic, for example, in Arizona, we always have a ton of nurses come out. Well, up until a month ago, we didn't have that contract. Now we do. And it's incredible. Like, I cannot wait, and I hope to someday have them, with us at Atlas. But word of mouth, and I've received Facebook messages, text messages. Like, that is, to me, the coolest thing when we have these nurses who don't currently work with us show up to these events. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, any way that they can get a hold of me or anybody, as I said, Facebook, texting, like, reach out. I mean, and 100% show up. For sure. I think it's awesome.
I think what's important there too is, as much as we talked about, this is a way to get to know people better, or and hopefully maybe they are travelers first someday. There's no hard sell there. Right. It's let's just go have some fun. Right.
It's
by the
really
end of it, we'll
recruiting.
forget you're not with us. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're with us, and again,
right.
There aren't the business cards on those trips, and it's, just come out and have fun.
Yeah, I think that what might be a little bit different is we don't necessarily take business cards. That isn't a part of the deal or whatever. Let's just go have some fun, like you said.
And I think that's huge, because every business corporation where people are the main, it's all people, right? That's all we work with. Our product is people. everything is about people. Even the jobs that the nurses are doing is about people. If we can inject even just a little more humanness, like, it's so worth it. And that's what these meet and greets do, is it's a face to a voice or to a text screen. And the more I can see a nurse as a human, and the more a nurse can see the recruiter as a human, the easier and more fun it is to do the daily business of finding and placing and building pay packages. And
we all can do the job, you know.
Right.
I mean, it's our job to get you a job, but if you can have that relationship and that bond, the passion, that's where I think the passion comes from. So
exactly. Yeah. Okay, so if you want information about any of our meet and greets, you can find them on our Facebook page. And then for each one of the individual meet and greets, there is a separate group. Is that what we're calling it? Is it a group, Dolan? Is that yes? Shake your head, yes? No? Then we create
event page. Yeah.
There's
and
an
event. There's always RSVP. Some stuff you need to RSVP for.
Exactly.
For example, the Alcatraz thing.
Yeah, so check the event on the Facebook page, or if all else fails, on the event, you'll see who from Atlas is going. Maggie, for example, will be in Phoenix for the spring training trip. You can just message her. Even if she's not your recruiter, that's okay. I think all the recruiters here at Atlas kind of have that understanding that if they're not going, if Jake's not going to the event, his nurses are totally fine in Maggie's hands. Like, this isn't, there's no competition there whatsoever. Go out and have some fun. Do whatever it is you're doing at the event, and then...
Yeah, I think with the last time you did it, you took like 4 of my nurses out.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
and just
always.
had a blast. They're like, Maggie's so much fun. Like, yeah, probably more fun than I would have been.
No business, that trip.
If you go on a meet and greet with Jake, he's going to take you on a 5-mile hike.
Apparently.
And that's... Yeah.
But you'll make memories.
Yeah. You'll feel good after.
And a few blisters along the way.
That's right.
All right, Jake, Maggie, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Again, if you want any more information, it's on our Facebook page. Each one of our meet and greets has an event. Go check out that event if it's coming to your area, or if you're in an area and you have some travel nurse friends or other traveling healthcare professionals that you're with and you want us to come out and there's cool stuff to do, let us know. They'll put my email or my Facebook right here. Let me know. Maybe I'll come out. I want to do some fun stuff. In 2020, I want to get out just a little bit more than last year. So let us know. We'd be happy to come out.
Very good.
All right?
Good deal.
See you next week.